Hey, great to see you. It's good to be back together with you for this week's Trinity video announcements. And this week we are ready to enter into our Lenten season and to think about Lent and what that means to us and that journey towards Holy Week and Easter. And as we're getting ready for that, Ash Wednesday is going to be this Wednesday. And this Wednesday, Ash Wednesday, February 14th, yes, it is also Valentine's Day, but February 14th, I don't know that you'll be able to get away with that with your loved one. But that's between you all, right? That's a thing. But there will be ashes to go over at Parkview Field from 11:30 to 1. You would be able to come over and receive ashes on that day. There will also be worship for Ash Wednesday here in the nave at noon and at 7 o'clock in the evening. So come and join us and be part of Ash Wednesday and the beginning to Lent. But this year during Lent, one of the things we're wanting to emphasize and think about are the 7 acts of mercy, the 7 traditional acts of mercy that the church has talked about as long as there has been church. And those things, they're familiar to us. We probably, to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, give water to the thirsty, bury the dead, visit the sick, visit the prisoners, and be with those who have addictions and problems such as that those 7 acts actually form the core of Christian ethics and how we interact with one another and with the world, that Jesus lays these out for us. Matthew 25 talks about that. The whole ministry of Jesus is about these bodily acts of mercy that Christians have engaged in since the early church. And it made the church this unique group of people who were able to think about others and their community in these sorts of ways, and became the foundation for how we think about being Christian in the world. So this year, we want to talk about those acts of mercy and participate in a little bit. And this coming Sunday, the first Sunday in Lent, we're going to do a bit of a food drive. And our friend Don Terry, Don and his wife Mary Lassitz, who is our deacon, but Don and Mary are part of our church. But Don also is an executive with Community Harvest Food Bank.
I am.
Yes.
So I am the food solicitor with Community Harvest Food Bank.
That sounds kind of fun. Food solicitor.
What that involves, I tell everybody, I am kind of the liaison between our retail partners and the food bank. So my background, I was in grocery business 25 years, so it's kind of second nature for me to visit our retail partners and just make sure the donations are going well and any kind of concerns we might have. So that's what I do.
Excellent. Now here we have the opportunity. We think a lot about food here at Trinity. Not just for ourselves, but we do community dinner on Thursdays, and actually Don and Mary help out with that, but also people who come by during the week. We have small amounts of food that Laura Hoffman helps people with sometimes, the Wednesday lunch, but also Community Harvest is a partner with us in doing our work here in many, many ways. And Community Harvest is one of the ways that, at least as a whole community, we try to help those who are food insecure, who are hungry.
Absolutely. And just some more background, all the food drives go directly into our community cupboard, which is our on-site pantry. Mm-hmm. And the need is, we're serving 100 folks a day, and an additional that, 25 veterans a day. So over 500, almost 600 folks a week, just through the pantry alone.
Wow. And then you were telling me this past Saturday, there is a Saturday food distribution.
Yeah, so a couple other things that we do. Saturday, we have a Helping Hands distribution, which is open to the public, anybody who needs help. And it starts at 8 in the morning and it ends at 10. And last week, we had a 40-year record high. We served 1,519 families in 2 hours' time. People will line up overnight in their cars. We've got it really streamlined. And God bless our volunteers, because it takes about 40 or 50 volunteers to pull that miracle off.
Wow.
On Saturday morning, we only have 4 full-time employees in the building, but we load 8 cars at a time, and we cut the line off at 10, and we're usually done by 11, but last Saturday, 1,519 families.
And that's more than we experienced during the pandemic.
Absolutely.
And I remember during the pandemic, we were all thought like these massive numbers of people who needed help with food, and that exceeds.
Absolutely. This is even greater than the pandemic time.
I know it's hard to say. Do you all have any sense as to why that need feels so? I mean, you've been telling me now for a bunch of weeks, like how, I mean, with some justifiable pride in what Community Harvest does and its ability to help so many people here in Fort Wayne, but a sense of, holy smokes, where are all these families?
I mean, I think the economy's got a huge thing to do with it. Of course, where we're situated, southeast Fort Wayne, we have a lot of ethnic Burmese population and such who are relatively newer to the country and sometimes are struggling to get on their feet. We have a lot of elderly who, toward the end of the month, the budget is gone. And we serve a lot of veterans. We have a Hope for Heroes program, which is for veterans or surviving spouses of veterans. You can shop once a month for a lifetime. Come to the community cupboard and shop once a month for a lifetime. And like I said, right now we're seeing at least 25 veterans a day.
That's, it's kind of mind-boggling.
It
frankly.
is, yeah. And other things we do, we have mobile markets that go out. We do 13 mobile markets a week. We serve 9 counties. We go all the way to LaGrange Noble, down to Wells Adams County, Huntington County, Whitley County here in Allen County. So basically the 9 counties northeast Indiana. But we'll go out in these rural areas, and whether it's a church site or a community center, and we'll take a box truck of food, and Keisha is our driver who has dedicated 13 stops a week.
Holy
she makes,
smokes.
and we do 2 local. Also, we do one at St. Pete's Church on Friday, and we do one at the Lehman YMCA as well. Wow. But the numbers are up across the board on all of our distributions. Every other Wednesday, we do a distribution just for seniors, and yesterday we served 346 seniors in 2 hours' time.
That's startling.
It is. It's amazing. It's
now,
amazing.
Somebody has asked me, and somebody heard you talking on Sunday about 1,519 cars go through. Somebody did ask, do you ever run out? I mean, no. It's like, how do you prepare for 1,519 cars?
No. Once again, we have great retail donors. Once again, this is our 41st year, starting our 41st year of feeding hungry folks. And without great donors and great retail partners, we would have folded up a long time ago.
Wow.
We get a minimum of 2 trailer loads of produce a week from our friends at the Walmart DC in Garrett.
Wow.
Super great donor. But no, everyone always gets something. The menu will change throughout the morning on a Saturday.
Yes.
But if we do run out of fresh produce, we have dry items as well. Being part of the Feeding America network, we have pretty good buying power within our network. So we always provide something. The main thing is we have to cut the line off at 10 a.m. or you'd be there all day.
Or you'd be all day. Yeah, all day.
Yeah.
Until...
So yeah.
Until today. And it'd still be going
And not
on.
to mention our volunteers would like to go home at some point in time.
Yeah. That I mean, I think for all of us to think that's just really mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just hard to wrap your head around that. It's hard to wrap your head around that many people, that many families.
Right.
But and we could say that's a human story, and that story is as old almost as humanity. We've heard, and one of the reasons it's one of those Christian acts of mercy, feeding hungry people, because that story we read in the Gospels, it is as old as the Gospels.
Absolutely. And all of my colleagues, we've all had touches with folks. We call them mission moments, but just recently, last month, on a Tuesday morning where it was 0 and the wind chill was about 20 below, we had a young veteran who walked to the food bank.
Wow.
And when he got to us, he was frozen. And we provided coffee, and he warmed up, and he was able to shop, and I volunteered to take him home. That young man lived right down here by Indiana Tech University. He walked 7 miles on a brutal winter morning because he needed food.
Wow.
So yeah, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Just amazing. I was at a mobile market in Albion, Indiana, and we were closing up. We were almost done, and a gal pulled up in a Jeep Cherokee, and this is why we don't judge, by the way. Many would say, well, she's in a Jeep Cherokee. Why would she be in the line? Well, as I offered the lady what we had to offer that day, She couldn't take it all because she says, I'm currently living in my car. So that was her current housing situation. So it's just
Right.
everyday mission moment stories.
Right.
And that's why I truly love working at the food bank, because even on our toughest day at the food bank, we have made a difference.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and you know, in this sort of theological way to talk about acts of mercy, one of the things that we recognize in church is that sometimes we've turned those acts of mercy into like acts of repentance, and that we do this because we feel bad about ourselves. But really, and even to hear some of those stories, we do these because of our shared common humanity. And that's why Jesus has taught us about those that, you know, this is just who we are. We share these fundamental things that are necessary in our lives. Food. And if you don't have any, and I have some,
Yeah.
I mean, the Christian ethic is to be, I should share some. Right? That's,
I tell people all the time,
Yeah.
we're all in this together, whether you like it or not.
yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
regardless of religion, regardless of political views. We're all in this together.
Absolutely.
And so I truly love working at the food bank, though,
know
because
you do,
we,
yeah.
we make a difference every day.
Oh
We
my
really
gosh,
do.
yeah.
We really do.
Now we are going to do so. Just a tiny food drive, just to, again for everybody for next Sunday, this sort of resonance of, you know, thinking about food and mercy, and there will be other ones coming up in the following weeks. But we'll collect some. It goes to Community Harvest. But there are other ways beyond donating food, donating offerings, resources. There are other ways to
Absolutely.
to help out with this
I have
program.
spoke about our volunteers. I would challenge our young folks here at the church. If you would like a great team building opportunity, reach out to me, and we'll get you lined up for a great volunteer opportunity. And I offer to anyone within the church, if you would like a tour of the facility, just reach out to me and we can schedule a tour as
Excellent.
well. There's always something going on at the food bank. There's always some kind of opportunity. Everything from bagging groceries for seniors, homebound seniors, to helping to stock the community cupboard. Sometimes we get bulk produce that needs bagged. I mean, the volunteer opportunities are endless.
Yeah. And again, in that sense of ethics and mercy, you make a real difference in the lives of sometimes people you have no idea who, but transforming and changing and helping to remind people that they're not forgotten
Absolutely.
and that these fundamental things are dear and close to us.
And every little bit helps.
Yeah,
I promise
absolutely.
you, every little bit helps.
Yeah, yeah. Let us know. We'd love to be able to go down to the food bank. Let us know how you're engaging in acts of mercy. Come and join us in this Lenten season as we work on our lives as God's people. Great to see you. Don, thanks for being with us.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you soon.